Hi guys, and welcome back to another Starcraft Remastered series, as once again we have a very interesting engagement from the South Korean scene. We have spawning here in the upper right in the red, it is Neox 92. This is of course the AK from Queen, and his opponent spawning here in the lower right in the green. It is Eros quality, but this is of course Flash. So this is game number 2. In between them I've casted game number 1, a very interesting game, actually a 74-minute long game. You can see it of course here onto this channel. Now we're spawning once again on a 4 spawning location map, but a interesting map here with lots of sands on the ground, looking very nice here. So yeah, 4 spawning location map. Very soon we are going to be checking the build orders from the two players, just like we do in any replay cast here onto this channel. And it looks like Queen is very likely preparing a spawning pool first, or is actually going for a overlord. So this could be overlord into spawning pool, but he could also go for a fast expansion build, as we see now Flash indicating to us that he is very likely going to wall off this location right here to prepare a more secure space for his expansion. Still no buildings here for Queen. I believe he's feeling confident of course that it is a 4 spawning location map, so he might go straight into a hatchery. 2 drones are getting produced here. Of course you can check the production tab just in case I'm missing something. It's right here in the upper left part. So yeah, still no buildings here for Queen. He looks like he's saving for that hatchery, straight hatchery for him. And now also sending out a drone to scout the map. We also see a vulture here. Very beautiful looking map indeed, as the overlord will very likely see the supply depot very soon. Let's see if Queen is indeed going to show his overlord or not. I believe he's also going to micro his yes indeed, his drone back as fast as he can. So the SCV I believe saw the overlord, and the overlord should of course see Flash going into a fast expansion. No barracks yet for him. Great, both players looking like they're preparing a macro-oriented game. You can see it of course from the timer. It's a 20-minute game. Quite an interesting game we have here in between the two pros, and actually Queen deciding to move out with his third drone here into this location. So at the 2-minute and 30-second mark he's going for yet another expansion, still having no spawning pool. So quite a greedy gameplay here by him. I really like that. Of course he saw with his overlord, he saw the expansion from the Terran. So this of course gave him the confidence to also go for his second expansion here. So yeah, we're going to be seeing a very defensive gameplay here by both players. Like I said, very macro oriented game. Gas is also being built here by Flash, and let's see if his tactic is going to be mass bio with marines, fire bats and medics, or are we going to be seeing him transitioning to mech. We saw Flash doing this many times against the Zerg, a very good strategy, especially into the middle game and into the end game with the tanks, the vultures, and even Goliaths for him. Are we going to be seeing some battle cruisers? It's going to be very interesting if Flash is going to decide to do this on the race. Would also be a very interesting idea here for him versus the overlords in the air. And he's also now scouting the map. So the expansion has been finished. 20 workers for Flash, 16 for Queen, as he's also mining some gas here. There we have the tier 2 around the 3-minute and 40-second mark. So Queen looks like he's heading into Mutalisk, but it could also be lurkers, or it could also be a timing push with Zerglings and Hydralisk against the wall of here by Flash. Let's check the main. This should be of course be his factory. We might see some tanks very soon for some defensive purposes here for Flash. So no major engagement yet, as both players like Adojo are preparing their macro game or preparing their defenses. The SCVs should scout of course the location, or he did already scout that, as he's now moving out. The first Zerg is also here on the ground waiting for the SCV from Flash, and gas is also getting produced. So we might see Queen go into some Mutalisk. It could be a nice move by him. And in comes the SCV, but the door is pretty much shut here by Queen. However, the SCV makes it here forward, and you should be able to see the tier 2 timing upgrade very soon, as he might also try to stay as much as he can with his SCV here to see if it's going to be a spire or anything else. Of course the Zerg could hide the spire into this location, and let's see what exactly Queen is going for. Actually, this is a spire, so nice hidden spire by him straight into the main from his main And he's also going for a sunken here in the front, as he might expect a timing push with some marines. But no such thing yet here for Flash, as he went into a starport. So straight starport after factory for him. And even adding a science facility, so very fast science facility and an engineering base. So he really wants those science vessels to irradiate all of the units from the Zerg, as finally in comes Flash. Sees the expansion here, sees the Queen's Nest actually here, nicely hidden by the Zerg. And yeah, we have passed the 5-minute mark, sorry, but steadily we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. Still no major move out yet. Flash not seeing this one over here, as he's still preparing his defenses and his macro game. The same can be said of course by the Zerg, but I think as soon as the Spire is going to finish, we are going to be seeing some Nucleus move out, as we also saw a bunker now being produced. So Flash is expecting an attack, but not air attack yet. He's thinking of course of Zerglings and Hydralisk here for him. So is this going to be the transition by the Zerg, as he's also going for a tier 3, so we might see some fast queens by Queen. We might see some Defiler gameplay here by him. Everything is possible of course for the Zerg, so the Terran very much defensively playing here, building his first science vessel. Also Irradiate is getting researched. All of those upgrades for the Marines are also getting researched here for the Terran. Some vultures just in case with some mines, and yeah, still a 2-base Terran versus the 3-base Zerg. But worker wise, the Terran has many more workers here than the Zerg, and we actually do see a move out with some Nucleus gear, so the vultures might get attacked very soon. Let's see a nice wall off here by Flash, as the Nucleus are moving now forward. But there are turrets, not that many turrets though, even this one science vessel now. Be ready to fend this off, as the Nucleus are still roaming around, taking quite some damage. Let me just click onto them. And yeah, let's see if Queen is going to engage here, but there's 2 turrets in the back, some vultures on the ground with some mines, so very hard for the Zerg to penetrate here forward, as the science vessel of course will be the answer against all of the Nucleus in the air, with the Irradiate, of course, with the splash damage very soon. Let's see if Flash is going to be doing. Steam hasn't been finished up yet for him. Irradiate finally is getting casted, so lots and lots of damage being taken now by the Zerg, as one Nucleus will of course be sacrificed by him. So yeah, I believe Flash is just going to wait for his Steam to finish and add so many more Marines and other units, as he's now moving out with his vultures onto the map. Yeah, another macro hatch here for the Zerg. Let's check his main. We do see a Defiler mount. Let's see if he's going for some Ultralisk. Perhaps it would be very interesting to see some Ultralisk gear by him, as the vultures might try to move here forward. There is a sunken, there are some Hydralisk gear for the Zerg, so he should be okay. Even the Mutalisks are now patrolling the middle of the map, as more and more mines are getting laid out here by Flash. Let's check the main from Flash. Is indeed going to be massive amount of bio gameplay by him, supported by science vessels in the air. So yeah, a good map control now by Flash, as well as his vultures are moving out on the map. And the other way is pretty much open now, as Flash feels confident to move more out onto his map, and I believe he's going to try to target the newly established base into the upper left part. And Queens of course knows this. He's bringing his Mutalisk forward just to secure the middle of the map, just to kill as many reinforcements as possible. And actually one science vessel has been sniped. Lots and lots of damage against those Mutalisk. Steam has been finished of course, and yeah, Flash just keeps on moving forward here into the map, wishing of course to kill the expansion, but we do have lurkers. At the same time we do have, however, the science vessels in the air, and the vultures now pretty much dealing good damage against all of the drones here from Queen. So nice stuff by Flash, as more and more drones are getting sniped here, and Queen has to bring back the Mutalisk to snipe all of those vultures here. So very good stuff by Flash. In the end the vultures will of course be sniped, but it was pretty much worth the ad. So many drones have been killed here by Flash. And at the same time his Marines are now moving back, so interesting stuff by him. Let's see the reaction from Queen. Is he going for some Ultralisk? It would be of course a interesting idea to go for Ultralisk with Defilers, with Zerglings on the ground. Very strong against the bio from the Terran. Check those upgrades 0 to 1 for him. Let's check the Zerg very quickly, as he has 0 to 0 yet. And yeah, this expansion is also getting produced here by him, guarded by some lurkers in the front. So yeah, still anyone's game. The vultures are still roaming around the map, getting some good kills. Some Zerglings will of course step into the mines, and the vultures are very good versus all of those Zerglings, but now he needs to be careful not to take splash damage out of his own mines. And yeah, slowly but steadily the Zerg is also moving here out on the map, just to get as much map awareness and nice stuff here by the Terran. Just trying to kill as many lurkers on the ground, just to secure his position, just to not allow the Zerg to keep on expanding all over the map. As at the same time he is also taking here his 6 o'clock position, and I believe very soon we're going to be seeing Flash engage this newly established base, and his next step is of course going to be attacking here the high ground from the Zerg. But yeah, Defilers with Dark Swarm, perfect counter from the Zerg versus all of those Marines on the ground. So there might be a new tactic here for Flash. He's actually upfloating all of his barracks. He might land them in the middle of the map just to have more units, more reinforcements pouring forward for him. Or is he actually transitioning? No, he's actually transitioning into factories. So once again, Flash with a transitional gameplay into tanks, into vultures, perhaps even Goliaths versus the air units. And yeah, those irradiates very good by him. Now even eating a plague. But yeah, irradiate of course a good answer against all of those units, especially against the lurkers on the ground. So let's see what exactly is going to happen. The barracks are being used as scouting units, scouting buildings actually, and we're seeing actually 5 tanks being produced and vultures being produced. So Flash pretty much in control of this ledge right here, but Queen is nicely defending it, as we see some lurkers moving now out on the map with some nucleus. So a good irradiate, but the science pistol is very likely going to take lots and lots of damage. Might even see more irradiates going out very soon by Flash. More damage is being taken here by Queen, as I believe he's going to try to secure this position right here. At the same time, Flash expanding into another point. So a very nice macro game we have here, but 81 workers already here for Flash, so Queen has to hurry up, not allow those units to get produced by the Terran, as this expansion is also being finished. So almost 30 more workers here by Flash. We might see some drops happening here with some overloads, as Flash is in the middle of the map. Notice how he has spreaded those barracks just to have vision all over the map, having so many units, so much map control by him. And he's going to try of course to irradiate as many units as possible and kill of course as many units as possible here for him, not allowing the Zerg to just keep on expanding. But he needs vision of course against the units. With those Marines, those upgraded Marines, very strong against all of those units. We even have a tank now moving forward. Let's check the upgrades once again here by the Terran, still 0 to 1. Tanks should also 0 to 1 for him, as yeah, Flash is now keeping on pushing forward. Let's check the Zerglings, 1 carry pace. And yeah, the Zerg tries of course to engage the reinforcements. Zerglings once again moving here out on the map, but there's so many mines on the ground, and sadly here for Queen he has no vision, so he's going to take quite some damage. The vultures are doing a perfect job into countering all of those Zerglings on the ground. At the same time, we do have an engagement here with Zerglings, with Defilers, but it looks like Flash positioning into those vultures will give him more of that splash damage versus the units. Now finally in come the Defilers. Flash responding with the science vessels against those Defilers and tanks it is on the ground. So very smart gameplay here by him. Let's check how many factories he has at home, around 5. So a very good number, as Queen just keeps on producing more and more of his Zerglings on the ground, just moving here forward versus Flash. At the same time, Flash seems like he's going to be able to take control of the middle of the map. And yeah, lots and lots of Zerglings with Defiler is going to be the gameplay here by Queen. So this expansion right here, not defended at all. So Flash could be in some serious trouble, as both of his expansion are pretty much now under siege. He has to bring back some vultures. Of course the vultures are very fast, so this is what Flash is relying on, onto the speed of the vultures as he's moving those back. But hold on, we actually do have indeed a drop happening here with Zerglings, with Defilers on the ground. Even lurkers are here present, as all of those factories are pretty much in danger now. So Flash has to bring some units back to defend this. A very nice gameplay here by the Zerg, watching Flash off guard. So Flash losing some time. Is he going to bring some units back? Of course he has to bring some science vessels, and now all of those SCVs have to fight for their lives, and the lurkers will take some damage with the defilers here as well. So a good move by the Zerg. He's pouring in more and more of those reinforcements. Yeah, Flash is in the middle of the map, but he has to make up his mind. He needs those reinforcements into the newly established bases. And yeah, BYUN just keeps on pushing more and more forward. Even nice break by him. So it's just mass Zerglings. Looks like it's going to be a mass Zerglings tactic by the Zerg. Upgraded Zerglings heading straight towards the expansion points all over the map here. So Flash being forced to stay back, being forced to defend all of those expansions are pretty much exposed, as he's going to be losing some workers once again. So he has dropped to 77, and yeah, more and more Zerglings are pouring forward. Upgraded Zerglings, of course, very strong into the late game. Therefore we might see more and more vultures for Flash. So yeah, Flash has to stay back. He can't really attack, he can't really siege against the Zerg. As more and more of those Zerglings are getting produced, and now we even have Ultralisk. So Ultralisk is going to be very, very hard, hitting very, very hard here versus Flash, especially with those defilers on the ground. So we do have that transition into mech, but is Flash going to get forced to go for some more science vessels, or are we going to be seeing some battle cruisers? Let's see. In comes once again Queens with the Dark Swarm. Of course, he's going to be able to clear the middle of the map with so many Zergs, even Scourges in the air to take care of the science vessels. And yeah, more and more is getting pushed out here by the Zerg, as the lurkers will finally get some good damage out of the science vessels. But yeah, Flash needs to understand that he's pretty much under siege now. More and more is getting thrown out on. Nice multitask here by Queen, just throwing everything he has, dropping units, even moving units around the map. Flash is not that mobile as the Zerg here, and yeah, once again the economy from Flash is going to suffer. Mines are getting some pretty good connections here, but Dark Swarm, of course, gives so much cover towards those SCVs, and many SCVs are falling here. Flash dropping to 70 SCVs, he will lose his gas as well. So he did make up his mind. It looks like he's just moving out on the map to counter this attack. He's going to very likely head towards the newly established bases, but let's not forget about those Ultralisk on the ground. So the Ultralisk very, very strong here versus Flash. How exactly is Flash going to come back? He has to make up his mind. Looks like we're heading in towards the base trade scenario very soon. He pretty much has abandoned this location right here. He's heading towards the newly established bases. There is a Nidus one, and yeah, those tanks, of course, now will be killed. So many Ultralisk with 5-to-1 upgrades. Yes, indeed, a base trade scenario. Just some tanks on the high ground here for Flash. They will be able to deal some good damage. And this expansion here pretty much under siege. So it's siege tanks versus massive amounts of Ultralisk with defilers. Still the siege tanks are now into Dark Swarm, so the Ultralisk will not take so much damage out of those siege tanks. And yeah, Flash is still roaming around, still moving here forward into the newly established bases. Meanwhile, space right here is pretty much abandoned. Let's see, the Ultralisk are still roaming around, still dealing damage, still being protected, but now the expansion from Flash, the first expansion, is pretty much under siege. And soon his production buildings will be under siege as the siege right here continues. But there is a Nidus zone, so all of those drones can be saved by Queen. And as you can see, we're slowly but steadily closing towards the end of the game, so it's still anyone's game, quite an exciting game. At the same time, we see more and more of those Ultralisk moving forward, and all of a sudden Flash has dropped to 28 workers. So Flash needs to be very careful. He tries, of course, to split his troops, but there's so many Ultralisks still alive. At the same time, his other expansion has been taken out. A very smart move here by Queen. He has the Nidus Worm, so the Nidus Worm, of course, helped him out. But still, even the supply from Flash has dropped very dramatically here. So quite a great game from Queen. I believe Queen has done it here. He's sniping more and more of the units from Flash. So quite an extraordinary game here, with massive Zerglings into defilers, and then with a rush from Ultralisk. Upgraded Ultralisk very strong against the mech from Flash. Of course, Flash is trying his best, but we even have a drop happening here with defilers, with Ultralisk onto the Dark Zone, and of course they won't be able to take so much damage. And look at that, actually a surround with Ultralisk, very rare sight here by the Zerg versus Flash. And I believe with that, hold on, Flash still has around 60 supply, but you can see all just Zerg here. This base is not mining. This one has also been depleted by a CV. This one is also still taking some damage. So Flash now in a very hard situation. He still has some units, still has some tanks. Perhaps with some luck into the high ground he will be able to survive more, but it's a very hard situation by him. as the Zerg looks like he's pretty much in control with his Ultra Risk, with his Zerglings, and let's not forget those Defilers on the ground. So yeah, let's see, some lucky minds might get some good shots against the mass hero from the Zerg, but it looks like Queen wants to finish the game very soon. He's very likely going to pull all of his units together, and we see a good engagement here, but the Mind's actually getting some good connections against the Zerglings. But yeah, those Vultures are fast, so this would be very likely the counter from Flash, just massive amounts of Minds. However, there is another attack happening here into this location with mass Zerglings, with Ultralisk still roaming around, still moving forward, attacking everything there is in their way, and now very soon he's very likely going to try to attack the main from Flash, and of course this has to be the GG. Quite an extraordinary gameplay here by Queen. Very fast rush into tier 3, into the Defilers, and let's not forget that he has connected indeed his expansions with a Nidosome, so that Nidosome of course saving all of those units, especially the drones from Queen. So extraordinary gameplay, a nice rush by him, very nice strategy. If you're a Zerg versus a Terran, you can see how strong Zerglings with upgrades, the Defiler and Ultralisk are. We didn't see that many Lurkers, we didn't see so many Hydras, so it was straight a rush into Defilers with Ultralisk, and the Dark Swarm once again proving to be very strong versus the Terran. Flash tried of course to transition fast into tanks with Goliaths. I believe Vultures would have been a great counter towards all of those. We saw in the middle of the map how good the connections from the Vultures mines were versus the Zerglings and versus the Ultralisk. In the end, Queen nicely multitasking, just pretty much attacking all over the map. At one point he even attacked 3 bases at one with a drop here, with some units here and even some units here into these locations. Very, very, very smart gameplay here by him, catching me by surprise, catching Flash by surprise, and in the end this has brought him the victory. So congratulations to Queen. Let's just check the stats very quickly here. Nice APM by both players, and yeah, very, very nice gameplay. Also very beautiful color here for Flash, green and red for Queen, looking very, very nice on the sandy map from Starcraft here. So very nice game, 20-minute mark, looking really, really strong. Very interesting strategy by the Zerg, and very strong versus the Terran. Yeah, maybe mass bio would have been also good, maybe more harassment, maybe more Vultures by Flash, but yeah, Neox Queen this time proving to be way, way too strong. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing of course in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.